Are you ready for the ultimate bikepacking weekend adventure? Join us for an unforgettable self-supported bikepacking trip through Southwest Virginia. The Grayson Gravel Pie Bikepacking Adventure travels along the Virginia Creeper Trail, the beautiful gravel roads of Grayson County, Virginia, and the New River Trail. All lodging and camping arrangements are included, along with daily routes and guides riding along with you. This self-supported adventure offers resupply opportunities every 20 miles for your food and water needs. Find out more at graveltraveldirt.com.
You're listening to Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brian.
And I'm Joey.
And I'm Jess.
And I'm Grant.
Yeah, he did it, Jess. Good job, Grant.
Very proud of you, Grant. You didn't see me, but I got very excited on this.
She was giving you like jazz high hands or something. Hey, everybody. This is episode 192 of Mid-Atlantic Gravel, Travel, and Dirt. If you're new here, this is the podcast, folks, where we talk about gravel bikes, adventure biking, bikepacking, bike camping. Tonight, we're going to talk about analog Instagram or just playing bikes.
Yes.
So welcome tonight, Grant Fanning of No Tourists Magazine. Now, Grant is a name known in the Mid-Atlantic for his photography, epic adventure rides, cross racing, and his latest endeavor, this No Tourist Magazine. Welcome, Grant.
Thanks for having me, everybody. It's a pleasure and an honor.
To tease people in, do you think analog Instagram was like a fair assessment?
I do. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
And also the analog YouTube thing I liked as well.
Yeah, that was last week when Joey showed me the magazine. He brought it in. I was like, this is so cool. I feel like I've done this before. And it was like, oh, it's Instagram, but it's on paper. It's super cool.
And no reels.
No reels.
No
right?
reels.
Yeah.
No annoying voices or stupid music.
Stupid dances, yeah.
Right.
Oh, I like the dance.
But you should unfollow me then because I do stupid dances all the time.
Before we get to all that, though, we got a few people to thank. Salt Stick JoJé Bars. Salt Stick helps athletes maintain performance by replacing a full spectrum of electrolytes lost through sweat and in a form and quantity the body can absorb. Right alongside, JoJé Bars brings together the right balance of whole food ingredients for sustainable energy, including optimal levels of healthy fats, carbohydrates, and nut-based proteins. If you want to give either one of those products a try, and I do highly recommend both, go to either the Salt Stick website or the JoJé website and use the discount code LOVEYOUBUY. You take 20% off of all of your items. I'll put links and that code in the show notes. Grant, have you ever tried either one of those products?
I've tried JoJé Bars.
Mm-hmm. It's good stuff.
They're good.
It's good stuff.
Yeah,
Real
they have like a bacon one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That was the first one I went for when we got them in the shop I worked at.
Well, guest endorsed, everybody. So get out there and save yourself some money and get you some real food. We also want to thank Cutaway USA. They offer premium cycling apparel born in where, Jess?
Blue Ridge Mountains.
Cutaway's an industry leader using innovative fabrics combined with clean, bold designs. Make sure to visit their website at cutawayusa.com to see all of the goodies. And when you reach the checkout there, use the code GTD20, that's GTD20, to take 20% off your entire order. We are saving everybody just so much money. It's what we do.
That's a really good discount. And I remember when I first heard it on this podcast, I almost went to the website and was like, that's a lot of money off. That's a big discount.
It is. It's huge. Well, I mean, you know this. Quality cycling apparel is not an inexpensive purchase.
Mm-mm.
Right.
If you're used to going to buying your padded shorts on Amazon, then it might be a big...
That's sandpaper.
Yeah, it might be a big pill to swallow there. But if you know what you're after, you know kits aren't cheap. And a 20% discount off of that, that's a good deal. All right. Right back, Joey. It's back in the show notes here.
Oh, yeah.
Crack of the week. What do you got?
I got a heady topper.
A what? Oh, heady topper.
Yep.
Let me see that can.
Coveted. I got 2 left. Nadine, one of my customers, got them.
Nice. It's an ale, right? Is that an IPA or just a pale? What is that?
It's like an IPA.
Okay. Nice can, though. I like that. Like silver can with the black.
It's iconic. Everyone knows the heady topper.
Very, very, very simple.
Yep.
Very simple.
That stuff's hard to find, isn't it?
Yeah, I had a customer / friend was going up to Vermont last month And she's like, "Hey, is there anything you want while I'm up there?" I'm like, "Well, actually,
Yeah.
this stuff doesn't come this far south." So she got a bunch of it for me.
Now, I don't do this very often anymore, and everybody knows that. But Joey had something in the refrigerator this evening over dinner that very much enticed me. So I've already both cracked and finished this, but it's a Evil Genius, You're Killing Me Smalls raspberry shandy. It's like right up my alley.
Yep.
I'm a fan of that kind of stuff. But now I will switch over to my polar seltzer right alongside Jess.
Speaking of You're Killing Me Smalls, I told somebody they were an L7 weenie head today in school. And I told somebody, wait, quick, name that movie. And somebody said The Sandlot. So now I own them a candy bar. So I just made a note to remember the candy bar.
So one of was a 7th grader, 8th grader got that reference?
They knew it. It's on Netflix.
Holy
it must
cow.
be on Netflix right now. So they knew it. Yeah.
Wow.
So it was really cool to hear that.
They can't remember the Pythagorean theorem, but they sure can.
Doesn't matter.
Grant, do you have anything you're enjoying this evening, or is it?
I do. It's called a Liquid Escape. It's a lemongrass session from the Virginia Beer Company.
That sounds
And
delicious.
Yeah.
We started buying it here at our house because it has a really cool can. It's just a white can with like a rainbow stripe down the middle, and it just looks super cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
All right,
Not bad.
Joey, what's going on in your world, real quick? You got a couple.
Really
of things.
quickly, I just want to express when I post stuff for sale or trade, I do mean trade. I had a guy that I got some brand new Head Belgium laced to 350 hubs and trade for my never used for my Recon shoes.
Oh, nice.
It's a great
That's like
trade.
Is that why you were up north end of the county?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dana, we put it all together, I guess, with ABRT and Annapolis and stuff, like we crossed paths in the past. But he's like, yeah, these were sitting in my basement. And
Hey, if you have a need for something and you've got something that's kind of just sitting around, the value is.
just saying that trades work sometimes.
Yeah, they do.
Those wheels are pretty sweet.
Good job.
Never
Good job.
used.
What else? What else you got going on?
Real quick, I picked up that Raleigh single speed that I've been riding this week. But when I bought it from my old boss, Dave, he has it's a 50 tooth up front with a 16 in the back.
Hey, you can do
And
that.
I've been riding it to work and back, and I did it today real quick a couple times. And I did order some new chain rings. And it's a cross bike. Like it really, I wish it wasn't towards the end of cross season-ish or whatever you want to call it, but
Pretty bike.
it's so much fun to ride.
And I see you've gone ahead and replaced that sticker on the head too.
Yeah, if people aren't familiar, Raleigh did a High Life bike years ago, like when I first started working at the store. So I slapped our new decal in front of the Raleigh decal that looked like High Life.
It looks exactly like it.
Yeah, it's a pretty. I like the pretty. The bike is pretty.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about
Simple.
the gearing
So
things, but
so much fun.
Just no worries about anything.
I would totally doing single speed cross races next year.
Are you gonna you now you put it out there that you're gonna do unpaved on that single speed?
Yeah, I'm going to do Dirty Kitten and Unpaved with it.
All right. Good job.
Just our own rides. I mean, Jess did all the Loudoun County and the plains and stuff on her salsa. So
when I first met Joey, he did a cyclocross on a S-Works with fenders, and I didn't know what bikes were.
oh no, it's just my road bike.
Yeah, and I thought now that I know what bikes are, now it's funny to me, and I like sharing that story with people.
that was the pink one, right? I
It
remember
was
that
the
bike.
pink one. Yeah, we used to ride it on the Eastern Shore like crazy.
You had pink shoes to match that too, if I remember right, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
It was
hot.
cool.
So new stickers are here. The gravel seasoning stickers just arrived earlier today, and I brought some to you guys.
We'll have
And
to send Grant some.
yeah, we'll send some sticker packs and some sticker love. We got that little gravel high life sticker, and we've got this new old. I can't say that. I'm not gonna say that. It's gravel seasoning. If you know, you know. Check it out on Instagram.
Is it the Old Bay sticker?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
We're not allowed
Yeah.
to say it. Our cease
Wait,
and
we
desist
can't say
letter's
it?
coming.
Oh boy.
No, we can say it. What are they gonna do? Honestly.
Well, as long as you don't sell them, I don't think there's anything they can do.
Oh,
But
it's parody. It's comedic parody, and so
Yeah.
that makes it all okay.
Donations.
I don't think they care.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll just hand them out at Philly.
We actually put a reel up just before we were eating dinner, and I brought some whoopie pies, and so I pretended to shake the package of Old Bay seasoning on the whoopie pies, and I think I've probably offended some Pennsylvania people pretty mightily.
Oh, yeah.
I think that there might be.
Nate was pretty upset.
Yeah, they're upset. Don't you be throwing your Maryland all over my Pennsylvania. Speaking of all of that, the Gravel Life T-shirts should arrive this week, so I'm going to start shipping those out. If you haven't seen those, check them out on the website. And I've got some limited supply left. So if you want them, jump on them. Jess, you wanted to show some love to some friends.
Both of these ladies were on the podcast. So
Many times.
So Kelly was on the podcast. Kelly raced in
Kelly
Catali. We're best friends now, so I can just say Kelly.
Oh boy.
So I actually wrote her a poem about the night before Gravel Nationals, or not Gravel Nationals, Marathon Mountain Bike Nationals. I wrote her a poem, and I videotaped it and sent it to her. Aww. It was to this theme of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," and yeah, so
that's sweet. That's nice.
That happened.
I'm sure she loved that too.
Yeah, so she came in 4th of the elite crew, so that was really great.
Strong finish, Kelly. Good job.
A nice one of her friends, I guess from Bucknell, took pictures of her all weekend. And that was really cool to see, like, the ins and outs. Like, somebody's not taking her picture. Like, she's doing her thing and somebody's taking her picture. I thought that was really cool. And Alex was first place in her division.
Dirty Kitten.
Yeah, Dirty Kitten Alex. She was first in her division, and she got the T-shirt, or the shirt. Jersey. And she got the number 1 thing.
Yeah.
And I got to share, I like to talk about my weekends with my students, and I was sharing both of them, the things within, telling the life of Kelly a little bit and the life of Alex a little bit. And it's really cool. I say it's really important you find your people. No matter if your people are in bike riding or whatever you're doing, just find your people. Whatever you're doing, find your people.
True.
So that was really cool. I will be announcing this first here so that if any of my friends do listen to my podcast, because we're besties, that I am not doing a marathon next season.
Okay.
So no marathon in the fall. But I will be, my big race is going to be marathon mountain biking on my mountain bike.
Nice.
It's going to take me forever. But I'm not aiming there to finish. I'm just aiming there to complete the thing.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of work, but...
You're going to need a new mountain bike.
What? No, I'm taking the big Hanzo.
Yeah.
Well, Joey will manage that.
Yeah, we'll have 5 new bikes between now and then, so...
Hey, Grant just got a new Hey.
So that is, that's a big deal for you to not do the St. Jude Marathon in Memphis.
I will be doing the half marathon.
The half.
Oh,
okay.
But I can manage training. I can manage running the half and training on my bike. I can't manage training for full and riding my bike at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
one of them definitely takes the side.
Gotcha.
But for the half, I could probably do it. But I will, of course, be doing the St. Jude half marathon. But I will be that will be my big race of the fall. Is going to be Mountain Bike Nationals.
Didn't we also look up where Chris finished? He's the honorary male Dirty Kitten.
Oh yeah, and he comes on the podcast all the time. And I didn't. Joey probably has the stats up on his computer.
Did you say he finished 10th? 10th in his division?
Something like
age
that.
Group? Something like that?
But whatever it was, so many people DNF'd because it was raining. And like I saw Kelly posted like this is the smooth part of the hill. And I was like, that's super rocky.
Well, so it's a lot of people blew out tires and stuff.
Yeah.
I know that Alex had a problem with it too.
Yeah, but she used a bacon. Can she use a Dynaplug? Do I have to teach her how to use a Dynaplug? I don't know how to use a Dynaplug. Why are you laughing?
No, it's just that I'm very proud of you.
For trying to learn something new.
Yes, that was pretty damn impressive right there, Jess. Thank you for that. That was.
Thank you.
I hope you don't take that wrong. Joey and I both made eye contact when you said that.
We started laughing.
We didn't start laughing. It was more like a proud kind of.
We know when to use a bacon and when to use a Dynaplug.
Yeah, that was slick. I like that.
Grant, I've been riding with Joey since I've started riding. So I don't ever have to change my own flats because Joey's always there. And then I don't even have to get my bike ready because Joey's there. So Joey has to get his bike ready and my bike ready. So
it's been a breakout year for you though.
Yeah. And I'm basically a professional because I travel with my own mechanic. So
Joey, maybe I think I know how you feel because I feel like I plug other people's tires more than I plug my own tires.
There you go.
Even just yesterday, I wasted my second to last plug. Not wasted, but I used it on my friend, and I was like, I've got one plug left. These are not free. Somebody buy me a beer or something.
Yeah. Did you use a Dynaplug?
No, because I don't take that out because they're so expensive. I leave it at home.
Yeah.
I just bring the bacon strips out, and
Yeah.
out of that whole book of bacon strips you get, I have one left, which is crazy.
That's a lot of bacon.
wow.
That is a lot of bacon. Yeah.
And I rarely get flats because I think I'm just a timid writer, and I'm like, I don't want to break things. Whereas my friends are all like, send it, and do all that stuff.
Do you ride? I know you do cross, but do you also do mountain bikes?
I do, but again, I'm like very like tiptoey around tricky stuff. Like if there's a big pile of rocks, I'm gonna like hit my brakes and roll over it gently instead of like blasting through it.
Yeah.
So I never get flats.
Joey's
knock
friends
on
like
wood.
to like jump over things, like, and I know all the tires should be on the ground. Like that's the only thing I know about bike riding, but they like to jump over things.
So last time I was riding in Richmond, we were riding with Wilson. And
Yep, I rode
somehow
with him
we had
yesterday.
multiple injuries, and one kid doesn't even know what happened. Like you guys got to slow down.
boy.
Like, don't follow Wilson. Like,
That's why I ride that way too, but it's not because I'm afraid of breaking my bikes. I'm afraid of breaking me. I'm much older.
I'm in my 30s now. Like, I don't bounce back.
I'm in my 30s now.
Yeah.
Talk to me in 20 years, bud. Okay, Joe, you want to do Strava Club real quick?
Yeah, and then let's get to the good stuff.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll do this fast because I still can't read. Because this guy's Tyler Drisdant from Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania, with 113.6 this week.
Good job, friend Tyler.
Mike Reese, who I think is on here a bunch, from Akron, Ohio,
Yeah.
123.6, and Mike Fry from Berkeley, Michigan, with 162 even.
So I'm going to pause you, sweetheart.
Yep.
There's 2 Mike Reeses on the podcast.
Okay.
One Mike Reese messages me all the time on Instagram, and there's another one. So I
Okay.
don't know if this is the Mike Reese on Instagram or the non-Mike Reese.
To break into the top 100, you need 106.6. And we're at 878. So
That's
if you
the same number last week, isn't it?
we went up a few.
Oh, okay.
Strava
good.
Club /clubs/gravel travel dirt. Upload your rides or not. I'm bad at that. So
It is what it is. Strava's a thing. Enjoy it if you like.
yeah.
Stay
Now,
out of it if you
now
don't.
the meat and potatoes, the good stuff.
Yes, sir. The good stuff. Mr. Grant Fanning from No Tourists Magazine. Tell us a little bit, Grant, of the backstory of No Tourist Magazine. And first,
your
let me
backstory.
let me say I love that name, No Tourist, because when I'm doing I do bike tours, I lead bike tours, and I tell people that their goal should be to be a traveler and not a tourist.
Yes.
So
Yes. So just a quick backstory on the title. I really had no idea what to call it, but I was driving home from a big ride one day, and a song came on, and the album was called No Tourists from this band that I like, and I was like, that just sounds cool, like No Tourists. I don't know, that'd be cool for the magazine. And then I started thinking about what it could mean, and like, I don't know about you all, but like when I travel somewhere with my bike, especially, I don't want to do the touristy stuff. I want to get like the lowdown. I want to go to where the people that live there want to ride, or
the grungy
I don't wanna-
diner. Yeah.
Yeah, like I want to do the cool stuff. I don't want to do like the touristy stuff. So I think No Tourist just kind of worked, and it sounds cool, and that's kind of where that came from. So good on you for digging that title. But
Love it.
so the backstory on the magazine itself. Much like some of you, I like to take photos on my bike rides a lot, and I eventually just had so much photography laying around that I wasn't really doing anything with. And you can post that stuff on Instagram. It's cool. Maybe you have like a little write up about the trip or whatever, but it gets lost. You post it, you get a few likes, it disappears, it's gone. I mean, nobody sees that shit again. And not just me, but like we all have so many friends, so many talented friends that do the same kind of stuff. And some people have even better stories to tell. So I was like, why don't we print some of this stuff in a book? And calling it a magazine is a little weird because I think people get the sense that it's like flimsy paper magazine that just gets torn up, but it's actually a book, and it's like pretty substantial. And I think a lot of the stuff that we as a community tend to produce on social media like Instagram, it's worth way more than just a post, you know what I mean? And I figured if we can print it, make it look nice, and then raise money for a good cause, why not? I mean, I think that just would be super cool, and I think loads of people would be into it. And so that's kind of how it started. I just started putting it together on my free time, like while I'm sitting at work, and I just kind of lean over to the other computer and work on it a little bit. And I had a lot of input from a lot of really great creative people that wanted to submit stories and photos, and it just kind of snowballed. And people were into it, and it came together very kind of organically. And I'm really stoked that people are into it, and can't wait to do volume 2.
I believe that some of the best things it's that organic.
Yeah.
You know, and I was describing this earlier to somebody, and I was talking about the fact that it's not what you would think of it. You're right. It's a disservice to call it a magazine. It's
Yeah.
more like
There's
I
no.
akin it to a graphic novel. That's
Yeah, I heard
photography
that.
as opposed to drawings.
Because it's not full of ads and junk.
There's not a
It's
single ad in
Right.
it.
all the good stuff you
Yeah.
want.
No, there's not a single ad in it. You know, it's what you want.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Exactly.
absolutely what you want. So how long had this been something that you kind of had been thinking about doing, and how long does it take to produce something like that?
It took a long time to produce, mostly because I was kind of doing everything by myself, in my free time, in my spare time. And you guys all have jobs, I'm sure, and you like to ride bikes. Like, there's hardly any free time, right? So it took a while. Like, I would say I probably started on it in like March or April of this year.
Okay.
And really finished it in like August. And it took a while for me to piece everything together and and do the design and the layout and stuff, but it also took a while for me to get content from a few people, because being that this is a completely community driven thing, all the money was going to go to a charity. And so no one's getting paid, and I don't feel comfortable rushing people or telling people, hey, I need this. It's like, if you can get it to me, that's great. I would really appreciate it. So it took a while to kind of like gently nudge people to be like, hey, can you send me that stuff? But I mean, all things considered, like, it took me a few months to do it by myself. I mean, I would totally be down to keep doing it again and again and again. I mean, it didn't feel like work the whole time I was making it. It just felt very fun to do, So,
Well, I can get what you're coming from. Well, the dog's like smacking at all the cables over here, guys. I used to, in another life, I published a magazine. It was a monthly thing, and I did all the layout. I did all the ad sales. I did all the stuff that went along with it, and it just felt like you were continually behind the 8 ball. So the struggle to do it in sort of that way, this sounds it allows you to be creative, and it's kind of freeing. How did you find all the folks to send you stuff? Is it just such a broad range of articles and photos and?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's like you said earlier, it's all organic. Most of these are my friends, people that I know that reached out, that wanted to submit something. And I had a whole list of people, behind them that wanted to submit stuff too. And, we filled up 100 pages in a book, like, very easily. So these are all my friends, and these are all people that we all, like, some of you know these people. And there's so many of us out there that do this type of thing in our free time. And we tend to just kind of share it on an Instagram story instead of, printing it and or doing something else with it. So we just have there's just so much more out there than throwing stuff up on Instagram, that eventually Instagram is going to disappear. Then what? You know what I mean? The next one comes along, we just keep putting our stuff up there. It's like, let's do something else with it. Let's put it on your coffee table or on the counter of a bike shop or whatever. So
this could be something that, somebody picks up 20 years from now. It's in a box, and it just comes out of the back of a bike shop, and it's like, people are like, oh, look at this.
For sure.
That ain't gonna happen with Instagram.
I mean, I'm sure you guys do the same thing. I was rummaging through stuff in the garage the other day, looking for some kind of like thing that I was using for painting. And I was looking through all these books and magazines that I had just stored in the garage from the last time I moved. And I pulled them out and I started flipping through them, and I was like, I didn't know I had this. This is really cool. And you're just kind of just rediscovering stuff. Like, that would be a fantastic thing to rediscover in 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone would look back on it and be really stoked.
So when I do that and I go to my parents' house, it's when I find a yearbook and I'm like, oh my God, like, I look through this yearbook and I'm like, oh my God, I had math with that kid. And oh my God, I can't, I wonder where he is now and all these things. But
Exactly.
it's an artifact of time, right?
Yeah.
If you had like a time capsule
Yeah, you're like,
and you could put all of these things in your time capsule, what would you want to be remembered?
it's like I rode with
Exactly.
this person, or the outsiders are cool, or I've been to Monongahela, and like
Yeah.
you just reminisce and go back to it really quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
And
not
like,
lost.
once Instagram disappears or it goes away, like we're not going to have any of those memories to scroll back on, like they're going to be gone. And it's just kind of a weird thing to think about, that we're investing so much of our creativity into that. And it's like, it's not worth it. We should do something else with it and raise some money for a good cause at the same time.
So where does the money? So you're donating the profits, or
The profits are already being donated to Richmond Reproductive Freedom Project, which is an abortion access fund here in Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
I've worked with them before in the past, so I knew I could trust them. I knew it was like a legit thing. But I've already donated the money that was created in the first batch of orders to them, and I just have to process like the second batch, which is like whenever I reordered like 25 or 30 books, I still have to process that stuff. But basically what I do is I go through all the orders and basically subtract all the costs that it costs me, like ordering the shipping labels and ordering the mailing envelopes, and the payment processor takes their cut. So I had to just manually like do all that stuff myself. But the first batch has already been donated, so it was almost $1,500 right off the bat, which is great.
Well, I think it's really cool that it's, and not that there's anything wrong with people doing bike things and then donating it to bike causes, but
For sure.
I love the idea that it's not something that's cycling related, because then it opens up the world of the cycling experience to a whole other group of people that there's a connection there, if that makes any sense.
It does. And around the time that I started doing this was around the time the Supreme Court had made that decision on abortions several months ago, and it just clicked in my head and it made sense. And I was like, let's focus our efforts here. This is the right thing to do right now. And it was just kind of like a spur of the moment thing. There's an organization in town called Richmond Cycling Corps that I've worked with and raised money for in the past, and it's basically it's a nonprofit that helps inner city kids, get on bikes and kind of get out of these bad neighborhoods any way they can. And usually I tend to like focus my efforts towards that because it is a bike kind of centric thing. But once that Supreme Court thing happened earlier this year, it was just like, we got to do something about that. So it'll change every issue. I'm looking at another place for volume 2. I'm going to look at something else. So it's just kind of like whatever I think is important at the time, I guess.
So we've hit a little bit on the obstacles. I guess probably the biggest obstacles is just doing it in the manner in which you're doing it. That timely side of it is a bit of an issue. But what's been the best part of it? What's been the most fun you've gotten out of it? Because we do this podcast because it's fun.
Yeah. Well, putting it together is super fun. It's kind of like taking photos, right? Like you snap some photos on a ride and you take it home and you look at it, you're like, wow, that's amazing. So putting it together is already kind of fun. But really like sharing it, like showing people, like handing somebody the book, because I think at first they didn't know what to expect. I know that a few people thought that because I called it a zine, they thought it was going to be like stapled together paper, like folded in half.
Yep.
And
that's what I would have thought.
And when they got the book, they were like, oh, this is kind of legit. This looks really good. And just like hearing people's reactions and people being stoked on it is the best part for sure.
Yeah. So what kind of feedback have you gotten?
One bit of feedback. I mean, most people are like, this is sick. Thanks. This is awesome. Blah, 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 whatever. That's all fine. But one bit of feedback I got was from a friend of mine. He like texted me out of the blue. And he doesn't text me. We don't chat often. So getting a text from him was already kind of like, oh, cool. Who's this? He was like, hey man, this is like really, really well done. And I took that to heart. I was like, thanks, man. I know you mean it. So getting little bits of feedback like that from close friends of mine or people that I really respect has probably been like, it really hits you kind of deep down, And
we haven't even talked about, if somebody wants to get a copy what do they need to do? They got to
Well-
did they have to know the secret knock or the?
This is
No.
why we started it too late.
Yeah. So because this was, this all, the only way I was able to like fund it was to take pre-orders, because I just didn't have like the capital to sink like, a few $1,000s into something that may not turn out very good.
Yeah.
So I could really only take pre-orders for this first batch, but I'm going to try to have a little bit extra stock for volume 2 to get, so that people that didn't pre-order it can buy something on the website. But it's just tough to do by myself because I'm just a normal dude with a regular job. I don't have a bunch of money to like, help prop this thing up. So if they want to keep tabs on it, they can keep tabs on my Instagram. It's just Gratstagram, or you can look for No Tourist Magazine. It'll show up. And also the website, notouristmag.com. They can kind of bookmark that. And, the Radavis was kind enough to share the pre-order when it went out. So I'm sure once the next pre-order goes out, I'm sure you'll see it somewhere on like bike blogs or something. So it should be pretty easy to find.
Cool.
I mean, luckily, I was a typical, like I saw it, I totally lost track of time. And I think the day I messaged you, you're like, well, or you put something up, you're like, I'm actually doing another small batch if I get enough.
Right. Yeah.
Orders. So it worked out. I'm glad I got in on that one.
Yeah. It's just like kind of, and like we talked about earlier, it's a community focused thing. So it's just kind of like word of mouth, we're not advertising, and I don't know. It's just kind of like a small thing. But if I had more money to just like back order a crap ton of copies, I would, and just have them on the website. But it's hard to do. Each one of those books is like, it's like $15 to print a single book, so it's just hard to you print like 300 of them, and it's a lot of money.
Yeah. The people on the podcast are not able to comprehend or grasp, I don't think, what we're describing. It's not a magazine. It's a book.
Nice
It's
coffee
just
table.
yeah. It's not
pick up,
something
read
you're
it,
gonna flip through and then toss. You're gonna hold on to that.
Yeah, it's not going to blow out of the car window when you're on the highway. It's sitting in the floor. Yeah.
So I love my job, and I will never change my job for 100% of anything. But is it fun to do something besides your job, or something besides your job after work hours that motivates you?
That's what keeps us going, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, jobs are jobs. It sounds like you're a school teacher, so that's like a passion, and I wouldn't even call that a job. That's like you're doing the Lord's work. And I gotta say, I have several friends that are teachers, and it's like that y'all should be getting paid like 10 times more than what you are. It's unbelievable what y'all have to go through. But my job is menial. I work in marketing, and I work from home, and it's just like, advertising is a pain. Like, who cares, right? Like, you're just selling shit, and it's just numbers, But yeah, doing something like this outside of work is it's what makes you feel good.
And it like reinnervates. I can't even say that word, but it like invigorates. It like keeps me energized in my work, because I'm going home and for an hour I'm doing straight fundraising or straight just things that make me whole, like riding bikes and stuff like that.
Or podcasting.
Yeah.
Or podcasting.
There you go.
Podcasting as well, yeah. Podcasting is a lot of work. It's a lot of time.
My favorite part about podcasting is hearing everybody's stories. The same thing with your book. I just flipped through and I was like, oh my God, I know her from the Instagram, because I like hearing her stories.
Exactly.
Would you ever entertain bringing advertising? Or bringing a sponsor, or if that would...
If somebody were to offer it, I don't know how I could say no, but it would really change the dynamic of the entire operation, because it's, as of now, it's just a bunch of people working for free and putting something out to raise money for the community, and no one's getting paid. So introducing advertising to it would start to make it. It would change it completely. I don't know what I would do, but
you're beholden to somebody else, and it just
you're beholden to somebody else, but you're also, now you're like, okay, now I gotta now I got to divvy up this money into all the people that contributed.
Mm.
How much is this person's photo worth versus how much is this person's story worth versus how much is this person's whole set of photos worth? Like now it gets confusing and weird. I don't think we're going to get there anytime soon, at least, but it's definitely not something I'm thinking about. It's very much just like a people doing it because they love it and raising money for people that really need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I look at it like a double-edged sword, because the money is always good, but you can tell that everyone that's in this has put, it's because they love it. It's what they want to do, and they want to get their story out. And most of these names are people I've run into or familiar or something, and like it's just from the heart. And then you put money and stuff into it, and then it's covered in advertisements. I don't know, the way I look at it, it's like people will pay what they want to pay because
I keep it a passion. Keep
that's
it
what it is.
Keep it an outlet for the passion, and
that's what I see it as.
It turns into a business. It's just a whole different animal, and
and you start to look at it differently. Like I reckon that at least a few people that bought this book bought it because, oh, it's money for a good cause. What the heck? I'll get one. You know what I mean? I think there are some people out there like that just want to donate money for a cause, and that's sweet. And that wouldn't happen if it was like, ads everywhere, Shimano ads or something, and it was, $20 to get this book, and it's just full of ads and some stories. I think leaving it up to the community is a much more organic thing, like we talked about, and it's way more my speed. I have a day job. I don't really need to introduce like a small amount of money into it via advertising.
It's kind of, like when we do the podcast, it's, we have our Patreon supporters, and we get a few bucks every month that helps us cover the costs and keep things going, and then we sell some tchotchke from here and there. But ain't nobody getting rich off of podcasting. At least unless your name's Joe Rogan. I mean, you're not getting rich off of podcasting. You're doing it because of passion and because just what you were talking about. It's fun, and the people you meet and the things that you get to experience, and I see that it's just another version of that. So it's super, super cool. Tell us a little bit. We dove right into the magazine. What's your favorite riding in sort of the Mid-Atlantic? Because you're from Richmond, right?
I live in Richmond. Yeah. My favorite riding in the Mid-Atlantic. I mean, obviously does the Blue Ridge Mountains count? Is that too far inland?
Nope.
No,
that's right there. That's wheelhouse.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the best, in my opinion, is in terms of my access and what I can reasonably get to within like a day's drive. I remember when cross season was canceled during the pandemic. That's when we really started like just driving every weekend into the mountains and kind of trying to explore as much as we could. And there's just so much stuff there, and it's a really like amazing thing to have that close to your home. Even people in the DC, Maryland area, like it's not that far from them either. But yeah, that's my favorite. I mean, if I had to choose something to do on the weekend, I'd drive out to Harrisonburg or Roanoke or anywhere in between there, and just start riding some of the national forest roads or some of the mountain bike trails. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I mean, for people that follow, I mean, you have some pretty awesome rides, like a lot. I know cross season's here, but I mean, you've had some really cool stuff, and we saw, we've talked to Cynthia before and had her on, and you guys have some pretty badass rides. Like,
oh man,
they look very challenging, and you tell such a good story every time you do it. But
yeah, they're super fun. Cynthia is such a badass, and
right?
No joke, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Now, because of the podcast, I can call her my friend because I mean, we may not be ever at the same place in a bike ride together, but I was like, I get to call her my friend.
Yeah, she's special. I try to go out and ride with her as much as possible. I actually texted her today because this weekend we don't have a cross race down here that we were planning on doing. So I was like, Cynthia, I'm free this weekend. What are you doing? And she's like, I'm going to visit my family, hanging out with the nieces. I'm like,
So
all
now
right,
I'm
next
super
time.
embarrassed because I'm not like that kind of friend with her yet. Like I'm only like I don't know why you guys are laughing, but I don't have her phone number. So because I saw you interviewed her friend Rachel in there. And I just pointed to it for Joey. And I was like, that's my bestie's friend, but
No,
we're not besties like you
Yeah.
guys. So I'm sorry.
That's your bestie's bestie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't ask her if she knows Jess Sikorsky because she
Oh,
doesn't.
yeah.
Okay.
She knows who you are.
Yeah.
We talked at Croatan about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Croatan's pretty cool too, considering it's right on the coast, right? Like it's kind of neat that they have that there.
Yeah.
So you're a big cross racer, right?
Yeah, that's kind of like one of my favorite things to do, and the season just tends to fly by, and I get like caught up in all these short little races, and every now and then I wonder, like, man, should I just be going riding big rides in the mountains? But the community is so fun. I know you guys have been around the community before too. It's just like the nicest people, the rowdiest people. It's super fun. It's not that much riding. You get to hang out a lot more, and so we're in like the middle of the cross season here, and I haven't been able to do any big rides at all in a while, actually, which is kind of weird to think about, but it feels good. I mean, we have some good mountain bike trails in town, so I'm usually getting out to the mountain bike trails every day after work, so I don't feel like I'm not riding enough, but cross season is definitely taking priority over like big gravel rides and stuff.
I can see the appeal of cross, but then they throw that
so much fun.
They throw that damn sand pit in the middle of everything. It's like, I don't want to go anywhere near that. I kill myself.
It's weird. Some of it's. I mean, the sand and the mud. Like, man, sometimes it's just like a slapstick comedy hour out there, and people are just slipping and sliding, and it's like, what are we doing here?
It's legit. I'd love to go watch. I've
never been to one.
I've never been to one.
Oh God,
never
I
been.
watched Joey do it.
Yeah, I would actually really love to do that. So there's if anybody has an invite for Brian to come watch,
there's so much in our area.
Cat camp.
Y'all have so much going on up there. It drives me nuts because there's literally 2 races every weekend, and I'm just like, man, because driving up there from Richmond is awful, and I make myself do it, and every time I'm driving home, I'm stuck in traffic, and I'm like, I'm never doing this again. I'm never doing this again.
We've had many of those same kind of conversations coming back from Pennsylvania or the towpath or somewhere. It's like you're sitting in traffic, and it's like,
it's on my radar for next season again.
Yeah, really? Okay.
I used to be a race mechanic for a lot of the stuff, but I never really raced a lot. But you go there for the fun.
Yeah. I mean, it does. That's
your worst case scenario is your race is an hour long. It's not like you're stuck in the middle of like George Washington and like, I got 50 miles to get back.
You're 40 miles out.
I'm out of food, or like, I got to get my little purifier thing. But it's fun, and there's the people and the community.
Now, integrating photography with Bike World is obviously something that
how hard is that?
Yeah,
it's pretty easy.
Well, Joey struggles with it because every time he takes his camera out, there's something wrong with it.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say Joey. You do it a little bit, Joey.
I tried. That's why I'm saying it's so hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. I don't know. So I think it's hard for some people, and I don't know if you have this problem, Joey, but it's hard for some people to take a lot of photos on a bike ride without stopping. And often we don't want to stop every time we want to take a photo. You see something cool from your bike, and you're like, I'm not getting the camera out. I'm riding. Like, let's keep going. But like, the trick is to keep your camera like really accessible, without getting off the bike, to take as many photos as you can, so it doesn't disrupt your enjoyment of the bike ride. Because the bike ride is priority number 1. Especially if you're riding with a bunch of people, they don't want to stop every time you want to take a photo. So it's important to just have the camera ready. But unfortunately, that usually means that camera's in danger of getting bashed up or dropped or whatever. So you have to get to the point, at least I found, getting to the point where like, okay, I bought this camera. I'm going to take photos with it. If it breaks in the process, so be it. It's a tool. Yeah. I'm just going to use it as a tool. And you just kind of have to treat it like whatever. Like, I'll drop it at some point. It's going to happen. Just take photos and just try to do as much as you can. But yeah, the trick is to not stop while you're doing it, because otherwise you're just stopping all the time and it gets annoying.
My tactic for that is I'm a GoPro user.
Okay.
And
you know how much I hate that.
Well, no, but what I do, I don't use it for the video stuff. I will actually pull it out of the jersey pocket quick, hit the button, let it go, and I point it at the things I would want to take a picture of, and then I go later and I pull the stills out. So that's my.
It's funny
that'll work.
Yeah, it works.
Okay.
It's funny because I was always shooting with like a 5D whatever, and then I specifically bought a little mirrorless. And I'm still, like you said, I'm still terrified of like, and I'll wear a strap on my back, and it's just I bought it specifically for riding, and it's like this weekend, my pictures from that are so much better than my phone.
Yeah.
I just got to remember, like, I'm gonna do something to the camera. It's just
Yeah, you just gotta suck it up and do it. I mean, you think about the cost of the camera. We talked about this earlier about our friends that like to just send their bikes over jumps through rocks. It's like they're usually riding some pretty nice wheels that are probably just getting destroyed right now. It's like, just treat your camera like that, and you'll have so much more fun.
So now I'm thinking I'm pro because not only do I travel with my personal mechanic, but I also travel with my personal photographer all the time. Because Joey gets off of his bike 90% of the time.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
And takes pictures of me riding a bike. Like 90% of the time, like Joey made it up a climb and he rides his bike back down to take pictures of me going up the climb. And then he's like, okay, Jess, come on, we'll go together now. Like, because like, I know he probably doesn't want to get off his bike, but like, he like does this all the time to take pictures of his friends and things. Like,
he's the designated photographer, so you better
mechanic.
Use it.
He's very busy on all bike rides.
And you got no photos of yourself.
Yeah.
Cynthia has said the same thing about me, like to her mom. She's like, "This is my photographer," because I'm usually the one out there with the camera and I'm just riding with Cynthia, so all my photos are gonna have Cynthia in it. So that's how it works.
It's a lot. I love it. I just 90% of my photos never make it out from my Lightroom or something, but
I think that's pretty normal though. Like if you took 100 photos,
you're gonna get
you're probably only get like 5.
Yeah, 5 is probably the better estimate.
Yeah.
But I mean, the difference I think from when I look at my photos, and I'm very judgmental, is like your photos tell a story better than most. Is what I like about yours.
That's nice of you to say.
Everyone. I mean, there's a lot of people that throw their phones out, but there's a difference between taking a picture and telling a story with it. For me,
yeah,
absolutely.
And yours, like a lot of yours, do that.
I think that's why to come back to what we were talking about earlier. It's why I enjoy the magazine, or we got to come up with a different name for that. Really, legitimately,
it's tough. I think. I don't know. I mean, zine is fine, but like I don't know. We'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, but. Just like that. Everything
tells a story.
Tells a story. Like, I mean, people joke about the 1,000. What are the pictures worth? I mean,
pictures worth 1,000 words. Yeah,
but a good photo, it just tells a good. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for Grant for sharing all this stuff with us.
No problem.
It's been fascinating. I like I said, I saw the magazine for the first time last week, and it captured me. So.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's kind of you to say, and it's really good to hear.
Give all the Instagram locations one more time for yourself and for the magazine and all the things.
You can find me on Instagram at Gratstagram, but if you just search No Tourist Magazine, it'll come up. Or if you search my name, Grant Fanning, it'll come up. Okay. But also notouristsmag.com. I'll have everything on there as well, and I think that's it.
Cool, man. Hey, you want to stick around? we do our this or that, and
let's do it.
We're going to ask you to stick around for this or that, and the way we'll work it is, Grant, I'm gonna toss it over to you for the first answer, then Jess, you're next, then me, and then Joey will bring it home. Does that sound good? Okay.
Cool.
Single speed for cross or single speed for gravel?
Single speed for cross.
Jessica.
I had a single speed and I loved my single speed, but man, do I love my electric shifting. Like, good grief, trying to get up crust. And I was like beep, 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 beep. It was so nice.
I'm going to be the oddball here. I've never ridden a single speed bike.
It's so nice.
I mean, when you're a kid,
Oh,
I mean, it's like
Yeah,
the best.
our friend Rachel rode unpaved with a single speed.
Uh-huh.
And like Joey said, I was so much of a smoother rider because I would just whirl my little legs. Like I didn't have to irrit anything or get in the wrong thing or, because it's too much for me to think about,
Yeah.
So I like my single speed.
Well, I would go single speed gravel because I don't know anything about the cross thing.
Yeah, you got to jump
Like
over
I said,
barriers and stuff.
Sand scares me to death. Joey?
Oh, that's tough because I feel like you got to really put through the cross, but the cross is over in an hour.
Yep, that's the key.
Yeah,
The cross race is, if it sucks, it's not going to last long. But if the gravel race, if it sucks, it's going on all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you could fine tune your gain a little bit better for cross. I'd probably go cross. That's my goal for next year.
Got it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay, second one. Photography on a ride or just go out and not worry about it?
Oh, I have to say photography on a ride. Just always bring a camera with you.
That's good for you because I go out and do everything not worrying about it, but yet I worry about everything. So like it's this weird like paradigm shift where I have like a gazillion times like times 2 anxiety. But honestly, I'm like, Joey, like, do you know where my bike helmet is? Like I walk around like can't find things. So I'm gonna do not worry about it.
I really like, I try to remember to stuff my GoPro in my back pocket. And that's how I take pictures. And it's so easy. And, but I will, so many times I'll forget it. And I wish I had it because you'll see something on a ride or you'll crest a hill or you'll like coming over Parker's Wharf and you look down and it's one of that golden day where the sky is just right and the field is just right. And you don't have anything. And I am super paranoid about pulling my phone out of my pocket and trying to take pictures with my phone on the bike. That gets me. I cannot do that because I'm not fearful of dropping the phone. I'm fearful of dropping myself when the phone fumbles. So I'm going to say I'm just going to not worry about it, but I love it when I can. Joey?
You guys know I like to take my camera.
I love when Joey takes pictures.
Oh, geez, he does.
Especially this time of year.
Yeah.
But that camera, my camera I have now for riding, and it started raining the other day, and it's not sealed like my good ones.
Yeah.
Like my nice ones, and it was wet and slippery, and it was still worth it.
Yeah. Third item, backcountry gravel mountain bike for comfort or a straight gravel bike. So is that like, Joe, you wrote that one? That's like
Backcountry exploring,
backcountry
gravel
exploring.
rides where it's questionable.
Okay, so on a mountain bike for the comfort or a straight gravel bike for the capabilities of that bike?
Straight gravel bike.
Jessica?
Well, my mountain bike is very comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's got the seat that goes up and down.
It's got a recliner.
No, it doesn't. It has the seat that goes up and down, like Joey's gravel bike.
Yeah, dropper.
Oh, yeah. So, but I also get confused with the shifting and the dropper because they both buttons. But I like my gravel bike. So, but I also don't like doing like any side of single track with my gravel bike. I'm like, hands up in the air. This should have been a mountain bike race. I'm done. Like, so I would actually choose my mountain bike.
Okay.
Yeah, I like my mountain bike. And it's called the Big Hanzo. Like, Joey, please prepare the Big Hanzo for me. Like, I really like that.
Yeah.
They have the coolest names.
They do, right?
I'm going to stick to my gravel bike. My Atto, that's just the most comfortable bike I've ever ridden in my life, and I just love it. I would take that out.
Oh,
over.
Which Otso do you have?
I have Ty Workin,
Okay, cool.
and I absolutely love that bike. Absolutely, with the redshift stem and all the little bits and pieces and things. And Joey built it for me. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's absolutely just a beautiful, beautiful bike.
not to get off the love of yours, but I was also in the Kona Man's video. So basically now we're best friends too. So
Yeah, Jess had a prominent role in Carrie Warner's Unpaved video. So
Really?
she got like what 3 minutes airtime in that or something.
It was a lot.
I
Cool.
showed it to my students and they're like, imagine listen to that for 90 minutes teaching math.
Joey,
Well, now that I've built up my Libre for like backcountry Pennsylvania gravel. I'll never do it again. I'll never like venture up this year. But
No.
No, that Libre I love that bike more than
Point.
any other bike I've had.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of Konas on this podcast.
Yeah, I would say Mr. Wilson has hooked us up as far as a store and fans. But yeah, it's
shout out to Mr. Wilson.
he'll be on soon.
Kona follows Joey
Yeah.
on Instagram, so he's very excited about that.
Oh, that's cool. That's big.
That's a well handling bike.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
you gotta get
Wilson.
It's
You
pretty.
gotta get Wilson on here. He'd be great.
Yeah, I'll say last time me and Wilson were texting is we were trying to figure out how this kid got a concussion. If me and him were at fault because we were the two adults.
You guys are worried.
We're like, okay, are we in trouble with this kid's mom? Like, because he's like 17, and we're like, no, we'll just play it by ear. Yeah. So,
Okay, Halloween themed. Last this or that. Candy corn or Tootsie Rolls.
Tootsie Rolls all the way.
Yeah.
I agree because I think candy corn is gross. Like
Yeah,
I
it's
tell,
super weird.
they're so gross, and kids are like, "I love candy corn." I'm like, "That's disgusting." That blurred. Like, give me a Reese's peanut butter cup or something.
Okay, first
Yeah,
off,
literally anything else.
Yeah.
it's an ugly candy. The candy corn is a super ugly candy, and then it tastes like mush. It doesn't even have like a good taste to it. You got to
No.
go with the Tootsie Roll, but as somebody that has struggled his entire life with his teeth, a Tootsie Roll's a problem as well. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
sticky
true.
It gets
Crumble
sticky.
Cookie has Tootsie Rolls in their candy. This
in their cookies.
Grant, have you ever had a Crumble Cookie?
I have not.
Ooh, well,
Ooh.
you should try them. They're very good. But
Where do you get them?
Crumble Cookie store.
it's a chain called Crumble Cookies.
Oh, I've never seen those around here.
It's like, have you heard of Insomnia Cookies?
Yes,
It's like that, just like they do like 6 flavors every week, and then they change it.
and they have a Tootsie Roll flavor.
Yeah, so it's like a chocolate with like a Tootsie Roll on top. And like I was telling my kids today, because, we talk about that for a good part of our time. We were talking about the fact, like, I hate Tootsie Rolls and I hate candy corn. And they also have a Nerds cookie out this week, which I hate Nerds.
Oh, I'm
Weird.
So, but yeah.
That doesn't sound like a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. But, I'm going to eat the cookie. I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Strawberry cookies have been great, but I actually like candy corn.
Gross, Joey. That's disgusting.
It could be like
You
a
would.
fake tooth for you.
That's
It could
disgusting.
actually be. It could actually be used for teeth for me. So.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, for
preferring
sure.
sheets over Wawa.
I like sheets too, but I also like candy corn. Candy corn's great.
Okay. Do you venture into like every once in a while they'll have like the different flavor candy corns? Or are you straight like you need old school original OG?
Classics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
classic
that's like
candy
Oreos. Like
corn. Okay.
Oreo does a lot of weird stuff.
Don't be
Classic
messing with the candy
Oreos.
corn.
Classic candy corn.
Got it.
Now you can double stuff the Oreo. That's okay in my book. But
Yeah.
Agree.
knock it off. Knock it off with all these weird flavors.
Yeah, the flavor's got to go away. The double stuff, or doing your own double stacking.
Yeah.
I don't mind
The double stuff is kind of the standard in my opinion now.
I don't mind the thin ones either.
No, it's got to be like
I enjoy the cookie component to the Oreo more than I enjoy the filling component to the Oreo. So the
I
thin
like
ones-
the cookie component, but I think maybe I'm getting just too used to it, but there's too much cookie compared to the filling in the single
Correct.
stuff.
the balance is off.
Mm.
Or balances off.
Because we're so used to breaking them in half and eating them that way. It's like, let's just double stuff them, and you don't have to break them in half.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you very much one more time, Grant, for playing along with us on this and that, for joining us for the podcast this week. It has been a lot of fun. Really enjoyed the magazine. Really enjoyed chatting, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for the support. Thanks for the kind words. And Brian, Joey, and Jess, thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you.
Got it, bestie.
Okay, folks, it
All
is
right.
time to, text.
Yeah.
Jess will be texting you now, Grant. It's about time for us to shut it down. Thanks to everybody for listening to this episode of Mid-Atlantic Gravel Travel and Journey. If you enjoy the podcast, maybe consider helping us keeping it going by joining our Patreon family. We really do appreciate all the support, and your monthly donation goes a long ways to help us keep the podcast going. And we got the t-shirts, and we got stickers, and we got all sorts of fun stuff. And
Now it's going to go towards Jess's new Hey for next year. Marathon Nationals.
Yes.
And one more time, we're going to be at Philly Bike Expo
Yes.
on Saturday.
Yep.
If you touch Joey, then
No.
Yeah.
no touching Joey. Travis texted me earlier. He said I'm not going to be able to be there on Saturday because Travis was going to be there.
Hire someone.
And
to come.
he said, would you please touch Joey inappropriately for me? And I said, well,
All right.
that's a daily occurrence. How can folks get in touch with us, Joey, if they need to?
Well, whether you want assault charges in Philly or not, yeah, I'll be wandering around at Philly. I'll actually have some canoe paddles for Nate up at Nittany Mountwork. So find the guy with the canoe paddles. It's just gonna be really awkward. But graveltraveldirt.com and our Instagram is at MidAtlanticGTD.
Mid-Atlantic Gravel Travel and Dirt is recorded this week from right here, Joey, Jess, and Blake's kitchen, all the way down Richmond, Virginia, with Grant. Thanks for riding along.
Yeah.
Until next time, do good, be nice, go slow, respect others.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.